Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're embarking on a journey that treats sound. Well, not just as something we consume, but as a kind of technology for inner transformation.
A very ancient technology.
Yes, exactly. We've been immersed in these texts on ancient Vedic philosophy, specifically the concept of Nāda Brahma.
Which is this incredible assertion that the universe itself is fundamentally made of sound.
And our sources lay out this extraordinary framework for intentional listening, for singing. It's essentially a spiritual discipline disguised as music.
Right.
So our mission today is really to cut through the abstract language and understand the practical side of it. How, according to these systems, does sound manage to, completely bypass the analytical mind and guide you toward self-realization?
And to set the stage for that, I think we first have to talk about the modern condition, really.
Yeah, noise.
The constant internal noise, we all know it. That bombardment of planning, judging, rehearsing arguments, worrying.
Yeah, that's a little static.
It's pure static, and it makes deep presence almost impossible. The sources we looked at define the power of music by its immediate effect on that very static.
It's like it has a secret key.
It does. The initial insight is that deep listening doesn't require your intellectual consent. It's not like reading philosophy where you have to agree or disagree. Music just provides an immediate sensory experience that slows that whole mental machine down to a halt. And when that inner commentary stops, even for a few seconds, that's the fertile ground. That's where deeper awareness can start.
I love that initial hook we found in the sources. It's so relatable. They've described music as having a quiet way of walking past the mind and sitting directly with the heart.
It's a perfect description.
And you don't need a music degree for that to happen. Anyone who's been profoundly moved by a melody knows exactly what that means.
Right.
Just think about those times a piece of music has completely captivated you. In that moment of immersion, you're not thinking about your to-do list or an email from yesterday.
No, you're just there.
You are simply present. And the philosophy we explored argues that this precise, non-judgmental moment of presence is exactly where self-realization begins.
And we really need to unpack that term self-realization.
Yes.
Because in this Vedic context, it's not always some sudden, blinding flash of enlightenment. It's often described as much more subtle, but powerful.
How so?
Well, the sources use this analogy of a muddy pond.
Okay.
Your mind is the pond. And when you're constantly stirring it up with thoughts and judgments and worries, that's the silt. The water becomes opaque. You can't see anything.
Right. You can't see through the mud.
Exactly. Music acts like a cessation of stirring. It stabilizes the whole environment. And as the mental churning stops, the silt settles. And for the first time, you start to see the bottom of the pond.
Your true nature.
Your true nature.
Yeah.
And this means really subtle shifts, like becoming acutely aware of your emotional state without needing to label it, or sensing your breath aligning with the rhythm.
That feeling of connection.
That feeling of an undeniable, non-conceptual connection to something larger than yourself.
What's fascinating about that is that the music itself isn't the goal. It's the dissolving agent.
Yes.
It's using sound to create the absence of noise.
Precisely. The critical realization here is that music provides a direct pathway to dissolving that separation between you and the world. When sound, silence, and your attention all merge,
You're no longer just a listener.
the subject-object divide just disappears. You stop being the person listening to the experience. You become the experience itself.
Okay, so let's connect that internal experience to the biggest picture possible. If music can create this profound unity inside of us, what did the ancient Vedas say sound was doing externally, cosmically?
Now we get to the core of it.
Let's unpack the idea that creation itself is vibration. This is where we dive into the Vedic worldview of sound, or Nāda.
The fundamental belief.
The fundamental belief that creation arose from vibration. And this gives us the core concept, Nāda Brahma.
The universe is sound.
The universe is sound. And in that paradigm, sound isn't just a cultural thing. It's not entertainment. It's the medium of existence. It's a path to knowledge.
And if you accept that the universe is sound, then the implication for any kind of spiritual practice is it's just enormous.
It changes everything.
It means that to interact with sound is to interact with the raw fabric of creation. This is why they focused so obsessively on sonic precision. Sound, in this context, becomes a technology for for recreation.
Technology for recreation.
Yes.
Hmm.
The sources even outline different qualities of sound. There's anahata nada, the unstruck sound. This is the primordial vibration of the cosmos itself.
The sound of the universe humming.
Kind of, yes.
Yeah.
And then there's hatanada, the struck sound that we can actually hear, music, speech, everything. The goal of the sacred practice is to use the struck sound, the intentional music, to align yourself with that fundamental cosmic resonance.
I can see the logic, but that level of precision, for a modern audience, it sounds almost obsessive. Why was the exact pitch, the rhythm, the pronunciation so incredibly critical? Was it just reverence?
No, it was purely functional. The Vedas detail these specific potent powers that are attributed only to correctly produced sound.
So it's not just an aesthetic choice.
Not at all. It was a matter of spiritual engineering. If sound is creation, then an error in sounds literally creates a tear in the fabric.
Wow.
This precision allowed the sound to perform three crucial tasks. It purifies the mind of gross thoughts, it balances the inner energies, the prana, and most importantly, it aligns the individual with the cosmic order.
Which they call a stiha.
Asta, yeah.
Let's clarify that. We've translated it as cosmic order, but it feels deeper than that.
Oh, it's much deeper. Etos isn't just order, it's the intrinsic moral and physical law governing everything. Think of it like the ultimate pattern. The sun rises because of Surta. Morality functions because of Eta.
So it's the operating system of the universe.
That's a great way to put it. If sound is used haphazardly, it creates friction, chaos, the opposite of alignment. But when intentional sound adheres to Eta, it literally recalibrates your consciousness to match the fundamental harmonious nature of reality.
Which is why mantras had to be chanted.
They had to be. They were never meant to be just read silently. They had to be heard, chanted, vibrated to embody that Eta.
That completely reframes the whole thing. The words only activate their purpose when they're given the correct vibratory form.
Exactly.
And this takes us directly to the Veda dedicated entirely to this sonic discipline, the Samaveda.
Right.
The Samaveda is crucial because it takes this philosophy of Nāda Brahma and turns it into a rigorous, applicable science. It really stands apart from the others, like the Rig Veda, which is mostly spoken hymns.
It stands apart because the Samaveda is primarily a sung Veda.
And that's the key.
That's the key. And what's so fascinating is how the purpose of the text transforms entirely through its musical delivery. The bulk of its words, its verses, are actually drawn from the Rig Veda.
So it's the same content, but a different form.
A completely different form. Its uniqueness is in how those verses are rendered through these structured melodic patterns called samen.
And these samen, they weren't just tunes, right?
Oh no, not improvisational melodies at all. They are fixed, complicated, highly technical tonal patterns that must be applied to the verses. The samen is the spiritual technology.
So the chanters, the priests.
The udgatar. They were required to dedicate years to this precise practice because the efficacy of the whole ritual depended entirely on the accuracy of the vibratory delivery.
So we have a really clear functional distinction emerging from the material.
Yes, and it's beautifully simple when you put it that way. The Rig Veda gives the words.
The intellectual concept.
The concept, but the Samaveda gives the words a soul.
The vibratory experience.
The life force. The melody, the samen, is what provides the energy that bypasses the intellect and moves the mind into alignment.
Which underscores that the Samaveda treats music as a spiritual discipline, a demanding ritual, not just performance art. These melodies were designed to guide the mind inward, to make the listener receptive to higher awareness. And the communal act of chanting wasn't just group singing.
It was believed to create harmony simultaneously between the people, with nature, and with the divine. A total alignment.
So if we fast forward thousands of years, what does this highly technical ancient practice actually mean for us today? I mean, very few of us are going to master Saman chanting.
Right.
But the core principle for the modern listener seems to be about intentional awareness when you engage with sound.
I think that's the key takeaway, whether you're deeply listening to a Vedic chant or a classical raga or even an impactful modern piece of music. If you listen with true awareness.
Listening for the experience, not the analysis.
Exactly. Then you are practicing the essence of this ancient wisdom.
And that practice is direct training.
Direct training for the mind and the ego. When you commit to deep listening, you are actively training your mind to focus on the present. You're allowing your emotions to flow without being judged, and you're training the ego to soften as you lose that sense of being a separate, controlling self.
And that is such a powerful counterpoint to how we usually consume media.
It really is. Most of the sound in our lives, the news, the chatter, background music, it's designed to keep the mind engaged, judging, planning.
Right.
Intentional sound reverses that. It's designed to quiet the mind's internal chatter, helping you see past that illusion of the individual ego or Maya.
And that is the final beautiful synthesis of this whole deep dive. This intentional training is why music is felt universally as healing or grounding or transformative.
Yeah.
The music isn't telling you what to believe
No.
or how to live.
Precisely. Instead, the music's most essential gift is that it creates the necessary silence.
That mental stillness.
That stillness in which you can finally discover who you truly are. It removes the incessant noise of the self-judgmental mind, and it allows pure self-awareness to just arise. The music acts as the mechanism that momentarily restores that fundamental cosmic order, that uta, inside your own consciousness.
Which brings us full circle right back to Nāda Brahma.
Exactly.
The Vedic worldview never separated music from spirituality because, at their core, both are about remembering who we truly are and aligning with the universe's foundational vibration.
An intentional sound just provides that temporary dissolution of the ego that's required for the discovery to happen.
Right.
Which I think raises a really important question for anyone listening to consider.
Okay.
If creation arose from vibration, from Nāda Brahma, and the highest spiritual practice in this tradition uses intentional, precise sound to create the profound silence needed for self-discovery, what does that imply about the importance of being intensely conscious of the quality of both the intentional sound and the intentional silence that we allow into our modern, often overwhelming lives?
A profound thought to resonate with as you continue your own deep dive into the world around you. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.